All right, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all the latest in television and entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the Wanda Maximoff to John's Agnes to Dave's Vision, because he is the vision of this podcast.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that at all in WandaVision. Yeah, I got the stone in my head, one of those Horcruxes, whatever. I don't know what they were called. What were they in Endgame? The
little stones,
the Infinity Stones.
Yeah,
that's how much we know about Marvel here. Is we're gonna try to break it
were
down.
losing their minds, being like, "You mean the Infinity Stones?" in the background. That's what they were
issue
doing.
74 of it's like okay. We're gonna try to do our best breaking down WandaVision, the new MCU show that is now on Disney Plus, and then we're gonna also continue our season 1 catch up on Industry, the HBO series, episodes 3 through 5 this week of Industry. A lot to do tonight. We should jump into the show. So, John, just help me out. What is this first segment?
in and out points.
In, order out. In, order out. In, out.
Yes, it is. It is in and out points. In episode 319, we discussed the potential hosts that are going to take over on Jeopardy for Alex Trebek, who had his final episode air a few weeks ago. And we're starting to see the guest hosts just less than an hour ago. Ken Jennings was on our screens guest hosting Jeopardy. Let's first talk about him, and then we'll talk about some of the other upcoming hosts. I know, Kyle, you've been watching. What have you thought so far of Ken Jennings hosting Jeopardy?
I think he's fine. I mean, I mentioned to you that I think his kind of voice doesn't have the same gravitas that Alex Trebek does, so it doesn't seem as commanding, but he's still very knowledgeable. I think his rapport with the guests is good, and I think he's like a viable long-term solution. And I think it's like one of those things where you could just kind of got to get used to him for a little bit, and he'll probably make the show a little bit more, about surrounding him, what makes him feel good, things like that, what works for him, kind of thing. Just like people were freaking out with Jon Stewart leaving the Daily Show, and Trevor Noah, everyone was freaking out, but he seemed to have made it his own kind of thing. Yeah. So I think he's going to make it what it is, make it good for him, and then I think we'll get used to it. But I still think it feels weird, Alex Trebek not being there.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we'll get probably used to it. Bob Barker and Drew Carey, that kind of transition. At first, you're like, what the heck? But then now I just feel like, yeah, he's been doing that thing for over a decade, Drew Carey. And Alex has done Jeopardy for over 30 years, I believe. So it's like, Ken's only done it for like a week or two. Like he's gonna need some time to get the rhythm and the voice. Yeah. But already I'm pretty impressed with what he's doing as a, non-TV guy. I mean, sure, he's been on numerous episodes of Jeopardy, but like he's never hosted really before. So I'm kind of impressed with what he's doing so far. John, have you had a chance to check out any Ken Jennings on Jeopardy?
I did. My major note that I think I have is the episodes felt a little quicker. I don't know if that was because Alex Trebek filled time differently, or if the pacing of the way Ken Jennings speaks, but that was my real only note that I thought of in my head. And I thought he was doing a fine job. And do we want to have someone trying to be Trebek and not succeeding, or do you want someone to have make the show their own? I think option 2 is the better of those two, and I think he's doing it. So
yeah, give him time, some time. But he's not the only guest host, because we've got an announcement of other guest hosts that are going to be filling in Alex's shoes here. I'm going to read through the list and we'll discuss some of them here. The Big Bang Theory's Mayim Bialik, 60 Minutes, Bill Whitaker, former Today co-anchor Kitty Couric, and NFL star Aaron Rodgers have all been tapped to guest host Jeopardy. What do you think about that list so far, John?
Some names I recognize in there. It seems all right. I mean, I would like to see them continue with the guest host for a while, to be honest, and try out a bunch of people and see what sticks and see what doesn't. You know, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm liking this list overall because already you have more. I don't know what the right word here is. Less like A-list, like showbiz people, and more probably people that would watch Jeopardy and have a little bit of that background there. At first, I was confused with the NFL star Aaron Rodgers, but Kyle, you know a little bit more about him and his memory.
Yeah. So, first off, I'm pretty sure he won, and I mean, we could fact check this, but I'm pretty sure he won the Celebrity Jeopardy, and he has like pretty much a photographic memory. Like he can remember plays from when he was in high school, and not like big plays, like random plays from when he was in high school. And it's pretty insane what he's knowledgeable about. And he's a pretty smart dude. He's considered one of the smartest in the NFL. And apparently he said when he was talking about it, he was very excited about being a host. And he talked about being like a very, very big fan, and kind of wanting to honor Alex Trebek. And I think even with the announcement, he sprung it early. So I don't think they meant to announce him so soon. But he was so excited about it that he kind of dropped the news.
Yeah, dropped the football there. Yeah, it looks like he did win Celebrity Jeopardy. It looks like 2015. He was up against Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank and astronaut Mark Kelly in the final round there.
And I mean, it is just trivia, but he's going up against an astronaut. I mean, you got to know your stuff.
Yeah, I like looking at this list. I kind of like what they're trying for here. They're definitely going for different demographics, and they're trying to get, I think, different people involved with Jeopardy. The one downside of a Ken Jennings host is like, well, unless you're not going to get, I don't feel like, a lot of new people involved because he's already a part of that Jeopardy trivia world. But if you get an NFL star or you get the guy from 60 Minutes or whatever, it's like you may get like a different kind of, the actress from The Big Bang Theory, so you get like different people maybe to tune in for Jeopardy for the first time, and then they maybe get hooked. And
isn't Mayim Bialik like a legit like doctor or something though?
That's another thing we'll look up
I
here.
think she came from like a background where she's kind of an egghead.
I mean, according to her Wikipedia page here, American actress, neuroscientist, and author.
Yeah, she's a smart cookie. So, I mean, they're also getting people that probably are very knowledgeable. They got to keep up with it. And they're not just like, Saturn's in space, reading off the card, It's like people that appreciate it, I think, and they have an understanding of the material kind of thing.
Yeah. Still, where's LeVar Burton? The internet wants LeVar. Just give him a week. What's the deal? Why not? Just give him a week. You got the time.
Sure. Maybe they don't want to cause a controversy.
Maybe.
He does so well, and then they want to give it to Ken Jennings, and they're like, oh, no, we've created a controversy.
One more host I'll run through here is going to be the executive producer, Mike Richards. Not that Michael Richards, a different, not Cosmo Kramer, but the executive producer of Jeopardy. He's going to do a couple weeks in between Jennings and these other guest hosts to give them time to prepare. And he's actually produced many shows. Looking at his IMDb, he's done The Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal. He was actually a candidate to host Price is Right back in the day before Drew Carey took over. So
interesting.
He has some background definitely in game shows. Nobody called the producers a fake out 2010 to 2012 here or whatever.
How dare they?
They forgot about us, Kyle. But
I know they always forget. Well, we're gonna make them remember one day.
Exactly.
They'll remember our name.
Okay. But the cool thing about this with these guest hosts is supposedly a donation will be made to the charity of the host's choice. every time that they're hosting here, the amount will equal the cumulative winnings of the contestants that compete during the weeks they serve as guest hosts. So it looks like Jeopardy's going to be giving out double money here. Whatever the champions get, they're going to add that all up and then also donate it to the charity of the host's choice. Wow, that's not bad.
I know. It must be
just hopefully they're, they better hope not for any James Holzhauer to come in here and just, bankrupt them. But
yeah, I mean, they must be swimming in that Advil money or Aleve. That's what it is. Aleve is always the last sponsor there. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see here. Our next in and out point. One name that wasn't on that list of guest hosts is Anne Hathaway, or I probably shouldn't call her that. It's Annie Hathaway, because headlines all over the internet last week involved Annie Hathaway because she wants to be called anything but her own name. She was on Jimmy Fallon and decided to spill the tea that fans have harmlessly called her Anne, not realizing that there's only one person in real life that actually calls her that, her mom. I have a clip from Jimmy Fallon because I think she can actually maybe explain it better, because kind of confusing. John?
Yeah.
Let's spill the tea.
Yeah.
When I was 14 years old, I did a commercial and I had to get my SAG card, and they asked me, "What do you want your name to be?" And I'm like, "Well, it should be my name. My name's Anne Hathaway." And I never, and so that seemed like the right choice, but it never occurred to me that for the rest of my life, people would call me Anne. The only person who ever calls me Anne is my mother, and she only does it when she's really mad at me, like really mad.
Yeah, I know.
And so every time like I step out in public and someone calls my name, I think they're going to yell at me.
Yeah. My mom would say my middle name, James Thomas.
But I doubt people are just like, James Thomas. How are you? I loved your last film. People are like, Anne. I'm like, what? What did I do?
Dude, I'm Annie.
So please, seriously, just feel free. It's not. People are so lovely. They don't want to be presumptuous, and so I think they come up with workarounds on set because the truth is nobody's comfortable calling me Anne ever. It doesn't fit. It's not. I'm an Annie, and so people call me like Miss H. People call me Hath. So feel free, call me anything but Anne.
Hat. I can call her Hat. Okay. I got a lot to say about this, and maybe I'm alone here. Maybe I'm on my soapbox, but I just think this is dumb.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
I doubt people are like, hey, James Thomas. It's like, yeah, no one's calling Jimmy James Thomas because his name's Jimmy Fallon. That's what he picked. He decided on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
You decided on Anne Hathaway. So surprise, people are going to call you Anne Hathaway. So I guess from now on, we're not going to call you Anne Hathaway.
I just wonder, like, how's that go down on set? Like, no one calls me Anne on set. Like, so you must say to them,
Don't call
because
me.
if everyone knows you in the SAG world as Anne Hathaway, you must say to them, oh, can you call me Annie? In that case, everyone on set that you're familiar with is going to call you whatever you want, whatever you say you want. If you want to be called Hat, they're going to call you Hat. You know what I mean? So, to me, it's just, I don't know. It's probably just some dumb story to tell on a late night show, but like
the headlines I saw where it was like, you've been calling Anne Hathaway her name wrong this entire time. And it's like, no, I haven't. She wanted to be Anne Hathaway, so I've been calling her Anne Hathaway. Now she doesn't want to be. It's like if she told me 20 years ago, actually, I don't like to be Anne Hathaway. I've been like, okay, fine. I'll call you Annie Hathaway. I'll call you Hat, whatever you want to be. But this is like, this reminds me of, this really pissed me off. Again, this is my little soapbox moment. J.K. Rowling, years after Harry Potter and all that stuff, she went on Twitter and was like, actually, guys, you've been pronouncing Voldemort name wrong. It's actually a silent T. It's Voldemort. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? Because first of all, there's 8 movies where all the characters call it Voldemort.
All the
and
audiobooks.
Then there's audiobooks, including some that you read, the creator of this, and pronounced it wrong. So who's wrong here? And I don't know. I just think if she really, wants to spill the tea here and wants people to call her anything but Anne Hathaway, why don't you change it?
Yeah, change it in SAG.
You've been working for over 20 years. At any point in those 20 years, you could have changed it.
Yeah. That's what you can change it. But now I don't know what she wants, because it's like, well, I can't change it because it's my brand, but I don't feel like an Anne. I feel like an Annie. And it's just like, get it together. Anybody that's close to you is going to call you whatever you want them to, right? The people that matter. If somebody calls you Anne Hathaway on the street, hey, it's somebody that doesn't really get, you don't know.
Or it's someone really angry at you.
Yeah. So what's the big deal here?
Because actors do this all the time. I mean, I looked at just a couple that popped in my head here. Joaquin Phoenix, that's his real name. But for the first 4 films in his career, he was credited as Leaf Phoenix. So then he changed and went by Joaquin. Emma Stone, that's not her real name. It's Emily Stone. But she made it Emma Stone for showbiz. And then, I mean, Prince would change his name. He made it that symbol. Diddy changes his name all the time. I mean, it's a new month. I got to be a new Diddy. So I don't know. I mean, but people are taking notice. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in New York City said they will change the nameplate on her wax statue because of her request on late night. It's going to be Annie Hathaway on that statue now. So the ball is in motion.
But again, it's not like they were calling her Poophead McGee or something. It's her real name.
Yeah.
On top of that, how many people are going to go in there not knowing and be like, why is it Annie and not Anne?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that going to be so confusing for anyone who doesn't know?
Well, then you don't know the real hat. Okay.
You don't know her like I know her. Yeah. I can call her Annie.
All right. Let's make a rule on the podcast now. Anytime there's a news story, a nomination with Anne Hathaway, we either have to call her Annie Hathaway or just Hat. Deal?
I think Madame Tussauds should change her wax figure to Annie the musical, Annie the redheaded kid.
Okay. I don't know. One last in and out point tonight, and it involves, I would love to see this guy host Jeopardy, Tom Cruise. There was some leaked audio that came out, back when we were off, when he was filming Mission Impossible 7, where he berated crew members for not following COVID-19 protocols. I can't say many of the lines, but I'll just give you a snippet here. Censored, of course. If I see you do it again, you're effing gone. He went on and on, because Cruise has been working really hard to get this film made during the pandemic. Producers even rented 2 cruise ships to help keep the crew in their own little bubble. They got their own cruise ships as their hotels there shooting Mission Impossible 7. But according to The Sun, again, it's The Sun, so it's a tabloid paper here, but Cruise has also purchased 2 state-of-the-art robots to patrol the set as well. These expensive gadgets can administer on-the-spot tests to staff. Source said the robots are really sophisticated and rather intimidating. It's like the Terminator, only not as violent.
This can't be real.
Please show your ID card.
Yeah, this is wild. This is insane.
Did you take your test today?
This sounds like a Tom Cruise movie. These robots are going to go bad, and then all of a sudden they're going to take over the set, and it's only Tom Cruise can save the day. It's a mission that's impossible. It's just like, there
needs to be a making of this movie.
Yeah, there really should be like what was the Heart of Darkness when they made about the movie about Apocalypse Now, because between the cruise ships and between the whatever crazy stunt he's doing, plus these robots
and him yelling at people,
sounds crazy. It sounds a lot's going on. Now other sites, it's weird because some other respectable sites actually picked up the Sun's story, other sites saying this isn't true, but they don't dispute that COVID robots do exist. There are video links. We're going to show a little video here. It's not like, an actual walking, talking, patrolling the hallways there. But there are robots that can administer COVID-19 tests there. So this isn't far off. I mean, just tell Tom Cruise this and he'll find a way to get this thing patrolling the hallway. But
how does the robot know how far to stick the thing up your nose?
Great question. Great question.
It looks like clip,
yeah,
I was gonna say in this clip, there's a guy operating it. So it's just a robotic arm. The guy's sitting like 6 feet behind it with a little joystick, and it's got a camera on it, and they're actually going into the throat, not up the nose. So
it's like a rock'em sock'em robot for your nose.
Yeah, in another room here. And then John, you said like it looks like they're on like the plexiglass even though. So
yeah,
really...
they got really close. Like so, what they were doing is they had a hole in the plexiglass. They were putting their mouth up to get the robot to put it in, but their face gets really close to the plexiglass. Like I could imagine you breathing all over the plexiglass, and the next guy coming up, and I don't know. I mean, there's a hole in the plexiglass.
Unless they wipe it down or something. I don't know.
But it just seems like a lot of work. Well,
but then why have the robot?
If the robot's there, why do you need the plexiglass? Put the person further away, and then there's nobody around you. You're just by yourself with the robot. They have
a longer cord for the
for
robot joystick, and
an extra USB cable.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when Mission Impossible 7 comes out, and we'll see if it was all worth it. But
they should have Wally. They should have Wally doing COVID tests.
Why not? Why not? All right, here. Maybe we can get Vision. Vision's not a real person. Vision could administer these tests here. If he's still around. I don't know. I got a lot of questions with WandaVision, where it all fits in the MCU. In order to talk about it, we do have to go back. So guys, send us back.
Back in time.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
I forget about the delay a little bit.
A little late.
Oh well. Well, WandaVision, the series premiere. There's actually 2 episodes that dropped on January 15th, 2021. Episode 1 and episode 2. Real creative with their episode numbers here. After the events of Avengers Endgame, Wanda and Vision are living the suburban life in the town of Westview, trying to conceal their powers. As they begin to enter new decades and encounter television tropes, the couple suspects that things may not be like they seem. All right, I believe we've all seen WandaVision. I watched 2 episodes here. We might have all watched at least 2 episodes, and I have a lot to say. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think about this. I'll say up front, I'm not a Marvel fan. I mean, I like the films. I'm not a super fan, I should say. I don't think we are either. But what are your thoughts as a newbie? Kyle, start me off.
I like the Marvel movies. I just don't freak out with them. I just think they're okay, good films. I don't know. The superhero stories don't do much for me. But with that said, I can still appreciate it. All right. Now, with that said, I did like WandaVision quite a bit. Even though I really had no idea what was going on. I don't even know. I mean, I could kind of understand Vision's powers, and I kind of understand Wanda's powers, but so I got the gist, but I don't really know much about those characters at all. But I will say Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen in these roles. I mean, that first episode, it kind of highlights the 60s, 70s shows, those black and white TV shows that people used to watch a lot. And it was very like nostalgic. It was very funny. Some of the tropes they use. I mean, it's highlighting all these cliche things, but it's funny to look back on it like that from where we are now. So that first episode was really, really well done. And then it mixes in that the slow motion kind of zoom ins, which changes it a little bit and then snap back to that. So it's kind of like what's going on here. Now in that first episode, we really only got that one time where it did that. So we can talk about that later, but overall really enjoyed it. I think I'm going to keep up with it, but
oh, wow.
I was
not expecting that.
Yeah, I'll let you guys say how you felt about it.
All right. Let's go right to John. John, what do you think?
Okay. I don't have anything major wrong to say about it, but I don't have anything major right to say about it. I think I enjoyed that they were doing the take on the black and white, the eras and all that, and I didn't know at first that that's what they were doing until in the second episode that I was watching. I was like, oh, everything's kind of different, so that was interesting to see, and from some of the pictures I've seen after the fact of further episodes, it looks like they do go into more eras, but I just don't know what the story is. You know what I mean? What's the development? I'm not sure. Pretty much all they've done, and it's a little bit of a spoiler for the end of the second episode, is found a guy making honey in the sewers, and as far as I know, that's not really illegal. It's a little weird, but not illegal. So I don't know what is supposed to be the driving factor behind the arc of the whole thing. We do get the little glimpses of at the very end of somebody watching these tapes and saying, Wanda, what's going on, or something weird like that, So and it seems like maybe they're trying to communicate with them via some of the radios or something. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but the 2 episodes were there to get me hooked, and I kind of am just like, what's going on? That's my real biggest complaint. Otherwise, I don't know. Everything else is pretty good. I mean, I'm a little bit confused about their powers. I think like Kyle was. I mean, it seems like the one guy's a computer that can calculate anything, and the other person has like any magic power they want. I mean, she can rewind time. She can make things appear and disappear and float and fly. And I don't know.
It's interesting because they're kind of like tertiary characters in the Avenger films. They barely get any kind of screen time in those films. But here they're
catch all powers. Why are they
That's
not
the thing.
out front?
I'm watching this thing. Why is Scarlet Witch, Vision, or Wanda here, the leader of the Avengers with all of her powers? She should be. Get out of here with Hawkeye and his bow and arrows. I mean, come on. But yeah, I'm probably a little closer to you, John. I don't find anything that I hate. I also don't really necessarily love it. I'm and I just see the reviews. I feel like I'm in the minority between the critic reviews, between some of the podcasts I listen to. Bubbles in the chat, I really liked it, honestly. I just feel like I'm missing something still. Maybe it's
Where's
because
the
it's
hook?
been the 2 episodes. The production quality is great. They're recreating these sitcoms of the 50s. It's all here. The black and white, the 4:3, desaturated colors, the cheesy theme song that sets up the premise. Everything so well done. Details perfect. They even have these parody commercials from that time period for different Stark type products. And as you said, Kyle, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, they're really channeling the sitcom acting styles of Dick Van Dyke and all those classic characters. They're doing a great job. The charm that they're giving out, all for it. They look like they're having a lot of fun. I just was like, who is this for? To me, it just doesn't seem like to be for the Marvel fans that I've come to know that watch Infinity War and Endgame. It just seems like these 2 characters that were barely in the original movies, one of which, spoiler, I guess, for Endgame. I guess everyone in the world's seen Endgame. I'm pretty sure Vision's dead at the end of Endgame. And now it's just the 2 of them are over here playing kind of playtime, doing some, 50s tropes and stuff. So to me, I was like, okay, I get what they're doing. They got the classic sitcom misunderstandings, the dinner mix up, and got to impress the big boss. And I know there's those little little morsels of something's weird going on. But for me, after 40-ish minutes and only getting a droplet of something, I'm like, I got to have a little bit more here.
Yeah, I agree there. Because in that second episode, I was going to say, and I didn't want to say all of this before you guys had gotten your points across, but the novelty of this 50s thing it kind of started to wear off, and it's like, where is the substance? And that's what I was starting to get with, is like, I'm intrigued, but you got to give me more than just these little bits, because what is this show after that? So I am very intrigued. I'm very interested. But again, that novelty of that 50s thing wore off, and it's like, you got to have something else.
Yeah. I would say, I feel like the first 2 episodes almost should have been one episode.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, because I feel like both kind of got the point across. If we had the first episode and at the end, we got what we got at the end of episode 2, at the end of episode 1, that would have been perfect. Because it's like, okay, something is going on here. But the end of the first episode, it was just like, okay, like somebody's watching in a control room. And it's like, I just watched 25 minutes and I got like 5 seconds of, wait, what? Like, the balance seemed off. And I feel like we're stretching something that probably could have been 5 or 6 episodes, and probably something that's going to end up being 10 or 12 episodes.
Yeah, that's probably true. I agree with that. So, so I will say I am intrigued, but just like I mentioned, that novelty wore off. You got to give me some more substance, and I'm hoping more of that comes along. Now, if they start dragging it out, that's going to get annoying. My theory for you guys, because I have no idea what this world is, but when I was watching it and then I go back to the control room, I'm like, do we have like a Truman Show situation happening where like they've lost their memory and now they've been put into this world and they don't know that they're living this world, but yet they know they have power. I don't know. I feel like that's the only thing I could think of, is that they're living some kind of Truman Show, whether they know it or not. I don't know.
Yeah, because the radio interference that we get in the second episode is somebody saying, "Who is doing this to you, Wanda?" So like, either they're placed in some kind of trap, some kind of Black Mirror type, you know, where they have to recreate these tropes, and they're kind of remembering things, but they can't remember everything. But I'm thinking it's something with, especially if Vision, again, spoiling Endgame, if Vision is dead, then maybe this is some kind of like coping mechanism for Wanda, that she's kind of created this other world or something in her head that she is hanging on to Vision. And maybe, because I believe this is where it's going to completely lose me, is I think this is supposed to set up something that's in the Doctor Strange in the Realm of Madness, whatever crazy title it has, that deals with like alternate realities. That's where it seems like MCU is going. There's rumblings on the internet that one of the movies coming up, the next Spider-Man film, will involve Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but also the Spider-Man of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Oh, God. So it's kind of like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse animated film. We're going to maybe get an expanded world where actually there's another Spider-Man over here and our Spider-Man over there. Everything's combined. There's actually another reality where, again, is there another reality where Vision is alive with Scarlet? Like, that's where I'm lost. That's where I don't understand what the hell's happening.
Yeah. You start doing that, that gets a little bit kooky crazy. I don't know. Where's it end? And it becomes like a soap opera. None of these people are actually dead. It's just like, we brought them back from the,
who knows? Chris Evans may be coming back. Remember, we had that news last week that he might be coming back as Captain America. It's like, you can never let go, can you? Because it kind of ruins those emotional moments in Endgame. If, everyone's sad that Vision's gone. Well, guess what? He's back and he's alive now. And it's just like, well, that moment's kind of gone. I did see something to note, that they released 2 episodes. Critics saw 3 episodes, and that's where all the positive kind of reviews were based off of 3 episodes. So this is kind of me wondering, I'm hearing there's something big that happens in episode 3. Maybe more is revealed there, where it gets the show going on a track. And maybe Disney, when they're like, oh, well, if we just send critics 2 episodes, maybe they won't be as high on it. We send them 3 where it actually explains what we're doing here. Maybe that'll be better. I'm just confused why they don't do that for the audience. Because, I mean, it seems like people like it. People are going to keep going. For me, I'm kind of, I don't know. If I maybe saw that 3rd episode and it's like, oh, that's where the show is going. Okay, I'm in. But it's like I now have to wait a week, and my attention is going to wane in that week if I want to go back and keep going. I think 3 might have been, if that's what they sent critics, what they should have sent everyone.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because you don't know what people base their. I mean, I don't know what regular people base their decisions off of. Some it's enough for one episode and just be like, nah, this isn't for me. I mean, I think there's enough there to be intrigued and to keep going. But if it doesn't I feel like if Disney does this stuff where they're, using it as like a cross branding, we're going to mix in Doctor Strange and all that. I'm going to be like, can we not? I don't even know what any of that stuff is over there.
Because right now it's kind of nice having its own little standalone. You don't need to know everything going on, and you can just have some fun doing these kind of different classic sitcoms. Bubbles, that's what she's liking about the show. She is seeing maybe that they are building to something more, they're going to go to different eras and shows. That's cool. But then all of a sudden we're going to start, guess who's behind door number 2? Doctor Strange is here. It's like, it's
2 Spider-Mans.
Fan reactions, though. We got a bunch that came in on Instagram. You can always send us a review on Instagram at Dual Redundancy. Z Milan said it's a love letter to sitcom tropes from days of yore. And Mark from the Good, the Bad, and the Watchable podcast, he said, I enjoyed it. Excited to see where this goes, especially with the dark undertones. And I mentioned the Good, the Bad, and the Watchable. I actually got some audio reviews from Nick Rojas, and I think, to me, the Marvel Cinematic Universe expert, Nick Boyle. I asked them for 90-second reviews.
How much is this one going to make? Is it going to make 5 trillion?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know the box office on WandaVision. I don't think it's going to be that high. But I asked Nick Rojas and Nick Boyle to just send like a 90-second review. I got that from Rojas, and then I got a 4.5-minute one from Boyle.
Oh my God!
You might have missed that part. So then he sent me another one that was more succinct. Let's play them both here. We'll get their thoughts and maybe where they think the show is going to be going later on.
This is Nick Rojas from GBW. So I watched WandaVision Friday night like a lot of us. And look, I'm the most casual MCU fan there can be. All right, I've seen all the movies. I listen to binge mode. I hear about, some of the backstories that some of these MCU movies are based on, some of the comic storylines, yada, yada, yada. I was excited about WandaVision, and I was rewarded with that excitement in the first 2 episodes because it was just so different. It was just a 50s sitcom, and it was just trying to be silly with some characters that we recognize, obviously Wanda and Vision, but set in a setting that's not like the MCU. It's just those 50s sitcoms, and I really appreciated it. Now, is this all going to fall apart because this show is going to be tied into the MCU, and it's based on some of these comics in which Wanda has created her own reality to make her happy because one of the storylines, House of M, this graphic novel that, Wanda is basically going insane, and since she's insane, she creates this kind of reality of this alternate reality, basically, and this is kind of stealing from a few different storylines here, so it's going to tie back into the MCU, unfortunately, but in those first 2 episodes, I really liked how it was just silly 50s, 60s, fun sitcom tropes. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit different, and I liked it. I want this to stay weird. I think it's going to tie back into everything else, which is unfortunate, but that's what I liked.
Nick here from The Good, the Bad, the Watchable, a movie podcast. Thanks as always for having me on, especially when we're talking Marvel, WandaVision. It was everything I hoped it would be and more. I love the 50s, 60s, black and white style humor and that type of TV show back in the day, while still incorporating those fun Wanda and Vision moments that you could possibly have. I like where this story is going. I think that, it seems Wanda is stuck in some sort of a dimension that she was either put there herself or she put herself there, and wiped her own memory, it seems, so that she doesn't know where she is, and is experiencing things, I'm guessing, post-Endgame. I'm really looking forward to seeing the little bit of teasers that keep coming out with, the sword and what does that mean and the symbol and stuff. But from what I'm taking so far, seems like she's just stuck in this world that she either put herself there or someone else did. And it will be interesting to see if she breaks herself out of here and what comes out of this over the next few episodes. I'm guessing by episode 5, things will be tying back into the MCU. But for now, I really enjoyed these first 2 episodes. And as always, thanks for having me on.
All right. Does that help at all, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, that does. I mean, but if Nick Rojas says he's a casual MCU fan and he proceeds to spout off some theories that he read in comic book, dude, I stand no chance. Why do I even watch the rest of this show?
Yeah, when he started bringing up the comics, and then when Boyle mentions the references to sword, and I'm like, sword? What the
sword? Yeah, I didn't know it either.
Dude,
we are so
I think that's some
like here
Nick Fury, like his instead of shield, now he works for sword, and that's like the thing in space.
Okay.
But yeah,
dude, a good thing you got their reviews because I don't know if I stand a chance with this show. I'm going to be like, who's this guy? And they're going to be like, Dr. Tinklewink. And I'm going to be like, who's that guy?
Sounds like a Cats character. But with Rojas, I did pull out the part where he mentioned like he likes it right now, but when it's going to tie into the MCU, that's unfortunate. And that's kind of, I feel like where I am right now. It's like, okay, these are fun on their own. And, cool. It's cool seeing them recreate these, classic sitcoms. But when it, all of a sudden it's like, all right, episode 5, guess what? We're out of this. And now we're in the quantum realm in space. And it's just like, oh, cool. And it's just like, but
yeah, it's like Disney, they do a great job with that synergy stuff, but you kind of want your own thing, right? I mean,
but I will say I have a prediction. We haven't really talked about her yet. Catherine Hahn, this like nosy neighbor, 100%. She has to be some kind of villain or something big.
She definitely is, for sure. Because she has that vibe.
Because I mean, first of all, you get somebody like Catherine Hahn. She's not just a nobody. She's a part of it. But also, I saw that I think it's episode 2. The postman comes up to her and is joking around. Hey, don't shoot. And she pretends to go like pew pew, and it's just like, okay, that's something there. That's like foreshadowing that she's gonna shoot later on, I think.
By the way, I love Catherine Hahn.
Yeah,
I love Catherine Hahn so much. I think she's awesome.
But I see some stills of her looking like she has some leg warmers on. Looks like it gets to the 80s at least with these tropes. So I'll be excited to when we get to there. Maybe we can hit the 90s. Can we get a Seinfeld episode? I don't know. Vision as Kramer. Why not?
Yeah, maybe.
But all right. Yeah, I'm probably going to be out for now. And then if I hear, later on I got to watch something, or maybe I'll just watch the last 3 minutes of each episode and just, okay. This is the Marvel stuff, and so I can kind of know what's going on. But Kyle, sounds like you're going to keep going. John?
I think this is a perfect opportunity to have Kyle do a quick check in the future and decide then.
There you go.
Okay.
It's on you,
well,
Kyle.
I'm going to at least watch episode 3 for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably, if something's happening in episode 3, maybe I'll check that one out. But, all right, well, we saw episode 3 of Industry, season 1. We're catching up on it. Notting Hill, Sesh, and Learned Behavior. We're actually talking about episodes 3 through 5 tonight. They aired in November and December of 2020 on HBO. This British drama series follows a group of young graduates competing for a limited set of permanent positions at a prestigious investment bank in London. Every week we're doing a few episodes. Last week we discussed episodes 1 and 2. This week 3 through 5, and then next week we'll finish it off. A lot to do. This is always tough when we do these kind of multiple episodes. I think it's always best to go by character, kind of see what they've been doing in those 3 episodes. But I just want to get your initial thoughts, Kyle. These 3 episodes, are you still in? You like what you're seeing with Industry?
I still like the show a lot. I kind of took a step back with the show because some of these things that happen in this show are just absurd. It's just absurd. I can't even take it serious. But I still like the show. The characters are what brings it around because they're young, and you're like, what are you doing? But also, then you're like, this would never happen. So it's just like, you got to suspend your disbelief. But I really dig the show a lot. I love it.
Bubbles gives me a perfect transition to my first character. I want to talk about Harper, and Bubbles said it's entertaining, but I effing hate Harper so much. Oh my god!
Wow,
I'm surprised by that one.
Feelings.
I have other ones that I have some issues with.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear. So if she can type in the chat why she doesn't like Harper,
But we'll go through Harper here. Dealing with a lot of work stress. She's getting a project from one manager, making her fall behind with Eric. But I think the moment I want to talk about was kind of this incident she had, 50 quid versus $50.
Oh my God.
She just kept making it worse and worse. She didn't tell anyone, but man, there was this sequence that, it was so stressful. She's chewing gum, a lot of gum. And she just sees it goes. Oh, go ahead.
I said, mind you, she's recovering from a bender, you know?
And she sees it. It's like, okay, it's positive 30. It can go up. If it keeps going, I can, salvage this. And then all of a sudden it just starts dropping and it's at negative 140 and she's chomping away. And we're just watching numbers on the screen. But man, I was like on the edge of my seat with this moment here.
The worst part about that is they reveal a little bit later after she hems and haws, spoiler, obviously, about telling her boss. They reveal later that she just got bailed out and it meant nothing.
Yeah.
That was the worst part to me.
Yeah.
They just, no worries. It's all good. Oh, we made a ton of money off of it. Don't worry. It's like, what? How could you do?
No consequences for almost losing $140,000 as a glorified intern at a prestigious financial industry.
Eric lets it go and then also reveals that he called Binghamton University and was like, hey, I know you're lying. And still letting her keep her job there for the time being.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say Bubbles is going off in the chat here about why, first of all, she says she hates them all, to be fair, but oh my God, she makes the worst choices I could give her for that one at the start, but she keeps going. Oh my God. Not to mention, when they found out she's not even qualified.
So now we have to assess where Harper's at. She's now indebted to the woman that she went and saw who groped her. We now have her indebted to the dude she's working with that possibly has some kind of something happen, either Me Too or some. I'm questioning that he didn't get like Me Too'd earlier or something, because clients don't like him and he has a reputation in the office. So something happened that we're just not sure with Eric yet. So she's indebted to that guy, and she still lacks the educational experience. So you're indebted to two people and you don't have education. Dude, you really you're not setting yourself up for success.
I mean, then she also the person that made the fake document visits her.
Oh, God.
She kicks him out of the place there. That doesn't end well. And the person she's staying with, she's indebted to her as well, Yasmin.
Yeah.
We could talk about her now, her relationship with Harper at least, then we'll get to Robert. But Yasmin and Harper, I was a little confused at first because episode 3, we could see she was jealous of Harper. She's moving past her at work. Yasmin's stuck doing mostly small little stuff, getting salads. She's not really a part of it. Harper's pitching things, attending meetings. Plus, she's hearing Harper upstairs in her own place. Well, I guess her parents' place, but letting Harper stay there. Hearing Harper up there having sex with strangers. It's like, I'm going to force you to pay rent now.
Yeah.
Episode 4, I feel like it all goes away. Even closer to Harper, she's throwing her a party, getting her gifts. It was just like, did I miss something? I almost thought like, did I miss an episode? Am I on 5 instead of 4? I just thought like,
they feel like almost frenemies rather than friends. It's like they because even when we go to the last episode that we watched, like Yasmin comes into her room and she's obviously clearly going through something, and Harper doesn't even stay awake. She's just like, oh, here. So I don't really think that there's any like really I don't know what the friendship there is. It seems like a frenemy situation. There doesn't seem really a supportive or nurturing or actual like caring about each other at all.
Yeah, it's hard to read that. Bubbles is also confused by that relationship. And the other one that's really confusing with Yasmin is Yasmin and Robert. Yasmin has some preferences.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at there. I'm going to run through a few and then we'll focus on one specifically. She's coming on to Robert at the gym. There's no word spoken. Just forces him to run faster on the treadmill. Then at some party, she puts a balloon in her mouth before giving it to him to blow into.
And then
we'll get to that. We'll get to that one.
God.
She gives him her underwear and asks for a photo of him wearing these on his face.
Interesting.
The one that was like episode 5. She sends him some photos, and it looks like he sent back a video of him masturbating to those photos.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's played on the Bluetooth speakers in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
But oh my God! But then there's still another twist in this that whole situation. But yeah, I mean, the only thing that I can think of with this relationship is, I mean, they both clearly want each other, but I think it comes down to they like the chase, or she certainly likes the chase more than the actual, I guess, like physical component. And also, if we're looking at it in terms of power, she has zero power at work, and she has complete power over this dude, and she is getting off on it literally and figuratively. So I think that's where it comes from. She has no power, and she knows that she has this power over somebody, and I guess for her that's got to be a little bit thrilling and clearly, I guess.
Yeah, but man, her boyfriend is so boring and such a dead face, like nothing. And it's just, I really thought when they were playing on the Bluetooth, it was going to be much worse, and we're going to hear like names.
Yeah,
we're going to hear like,
I was waiting for it. There's no conflict. It's just like, oh, all right, they're watching something. All right, whatever. Like, there's.
Well, he has his own issues with with videos. He's falling asleep.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up.
To a cam girl there, and then this other thing where at this party, she gives a hand job to the boyfriend with the rubber gloves on in the kitchen, and there's so much public displays of affection in this place. It's just in this house specifically. I mean, Harper and the boyfriend just going at it on her friend's parents' table. It's like her friend's place. It's her, like at any point anybody could walk in.
Yeah.
You have a room upstairs. Go upstairs.
Yeah. Well, that's not as exciting, Dave.
Oh.
It could get walked in on any moment. That's the excitement of it.
Gus, when he goes drunkenly over to some executive's place there.
I was like, what?
They're going at it with an open door in the house.
And they're not being silent.
No.
I'm like, who could not hear this? This is ridiculous. Oh my God. Yeah, that was bad. That was the one I was more like, dude, you got to be more subtle than this. You guys are being loud as hell.
Yeah. Wow. She's got a lot going on, Yasmin. Not just with Robert. And we get a little bit with Kenny in this last episode here.
Dude, I think he might be
the worst.
Yeah. He's like everything that we wish about guys would just go away like that.
Yeah. Kenny finally gets kind of some, crap delivered back at him from his boss. He's, talking loud and, being a show off and stuff. And the boss kind of brings him back down to reality. And Yasmin actually kind of impresses the main boss there with, hey, I actually set up a client meeting. And of course, Kenny has to come to this. And it starts off okay. He's apologizing to her, but drunk Kenny at it again, making a scene and just like, dude, like, how does this guy still have a job?
Yeah, I know.
And then they go to a strip club.
Yeah.
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 And I don't know why Yasmin didn't leverage that relationship more.
Yeah.
You have this dude who works for a company that's sought after, and you're not leveraging. I would screw Kenny. I'm going right over your head, buddy boy. I mean, she's just. I think that's the difference for the women in
the
women in this industry.
Compared to Harper, because Harper is willing to pretty much do a meeting without at least turning to her female manager, telling her about it, because the alert comes on the computer. Oh, actually, that's a mistake. Don't worry about it. Don't show up to that one. And then, surprise, she does end up deciding to go. And Eric is like, how did, he starts freaking out at Harper for letting that happen. She's willing to kind of do these kind of secretive meetings and, kind of step on people. Yasmin is not doing that yet. She just doesn't have, I don't know, whether it's the confidence or the drive or whatever it is, just to do that. But yeah, a lot going on. Not too much, I feel like, with Gus. He's working now for Eric. And there was at least a moment when Eric was out of town or out of the office. And
wait, no, he's not working for Eric. I thought he was working for the Roberts dude. I thought they were teaming up together.
I thought it was Eric, because at least he was answering Eric's phones at some point on the floor, and that was the whole issue with Eric yelling at him.
I think he went to report to Eric, and Eric was like, "Oh, I don't want anything to do with you." And he kind of pushed him off towards Robert.
And then Eric was upset because he answered his phone and made a deal when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he's at least getting called out for some of, because I feel like Gus at various points, I mentioned it last week, where, again, somebody it seems even more higher up in the company, because she's the woman that he kind of told off at that grad dinner. Turns out to be someone high in the company, because she comes in, walks right into the big board meeting and is like, hey, don't talk about this article that's, in the press about people leaving. Don't mention that. So, like, Gus is always kind of talking above his pay grade. And he finally at least gets called out here by Eric. But yeah, a lot going on. We got 3 more episodes to watch. I know Kyle's in. John, I didn't really get your initial thoughts. How are you liking Industry?
I think it's going well. I'm having the issue where if you ask me what happened in a specific episode, I don't know if I would know. I'm kind of getting the movement as things are going on and the developments that are happening, but I don't know if there's anything distinct that really grounds my time frame. And I think that's my biggest issue. But yeah, I'm in for another 3 at least. I'll finish the season.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. I mean, when he asked me about what deals they're actually making and the finance stuff, I have no idea what's happening, but I can kind of piece together. It's like, oh, this person works at least under this person. That person's mad at that person. Okay, I could figure that out at least. The basics, bare basics. It's like the MCU over here with how this all comes together. But yeah, 3 more episodes to watch. We'll finish it off next week. The catch up continues, episodes 6 through 8, and then we'll have. Oh
no, I was just gonna say, did you have any predictions for where things are going?
I mean, I would at least think at the 8th episode we got to hear at least. Maybe they'll cliffhanger us, but like we got to hear who's coming back, who's gonna get the position. I could definitely see some kind of tragic end for somebody. Like I don't think we're not. Maybe I mean it would be crazy if it's Harper. I feel like, because she's kind of like the lead of the show, but I mean we could probably stand to lose Gus. I mean, again, we didn't have that much to say this week about him. I feel like there has to be something. Yasmin and Robert have to just get together already.
Yeah.
Like even Harper calls it out. Just get together. Like, but
I think that's gonna be bad news, though. I don't think they're.
No.
I think it's gonna be like a passion thing, and I'm really wondering what's happening with Eric. I could see Eric getting the kick, and then Harper kind of, as an initiative for the company, like, oh, look, we're pushing younger people. She's black, she's a woman. Like we're striving towards
changing the environment of the company that is so toxic, as the article points out. Yeah.
So Eric could, from what I think, he's got some shady stuff that we're gonna find out, and then he's gonna get pushed to the curb. Especially with this Phelim thing, because wasn't Phelim the dude that made all the money for him? So. If that dude left and that guy and Eric's not bringing in cash anymore, I could see him going away.
Yeah. All right, 3 episodes to go. We'll talk about them next week, and we'll also talk about another thing that's airing on HBO and HBO Max, Euphoria. The second episode, the second special part, this one about Jules, is airing. So we'll break that down as well. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, you can send us your reviews on different things like Zach and Mark did this week at Dual Redundancy. And you can find episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com. And of course, live Tuesday nights on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dual Redundancy, 8 p.m. Eastern. I want to thank first Nick and Nick for sending in their WandaVision reviews. And I got to thank both of you guys for watching all this stuff this week. And for John, for getting the episode up on iTunes, directing the Twitch stream. I couldn't do it without you guys.
Man.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.